Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. Every week you guys can expect me to break down the latest in the Star Wars comics, novels, TV series, and more. This week is no different because we have two new Marvel comics. The first one I want to talk about is my favorite, and that is the Darth Vader series. So this is issue number 21, and this is part 3 of the Fortress Vader arc. So at this point in time, Vader has killed a lot of Jedi, and there hasn't been any rumors of any Jedi kind of resurfacing. So basically Palpatine sends him to go train more in the dark sides of the Force. So Vader says, I want to pick a planet as my home base of operations. So he does pick, in fact, Mustafar, the place of birth for Darth Vader. So we do have Palpatine giving Vader the Nubian cruiser that he first went on in the Phantom Menace. Yes, that's Padme's ship. And well, in this issue we have this pretty large sequence where Vader is actually piloting this cruiser into the atmosphere of Mustafar without having the shields on, and people are going nuts. He also has these two assistants, these architects with him, and they're saying, what are you doing? You're going to destroy the ship and kill us along with it. And they are going for a ride, because by the end of that sequence, Vader does successfully land the ship, and the ship does not even look anything like it used to, because instead of being nice, pristine, and shiny, it is charred black, just like the husk of Darth Vader. So pretty cool stuff right there. So Vader does actually go back and visit the place where he bled the crystal that was earlier in this series, and that is kind of where he picks the ground to say, let's put something here, let's put my castle here. What I didn't tell you is that there was also this helmet, this Darth Vader helmet, this ancient Sith Lord, which is on the ship. And well, one of the assistants that came with Vader on the ship happens to put this helmet on, and this is at the end of the issue, and he goes crazy, and he ends up killing Colonel Brenny, who is the architect of this whole place, and then Vader just turns around and kills him, and that's pretty much the end of the issue. We do find out that the person that had Darth Brennan's, or Darth Momin's helmet on actually possessed him to actually draw up the plans for Mustafar's palace. So that was really, Darth Vader's palace, so that was really interesting there. So let's get into the specifics for this issue. I will say this has one of the craziest openings to a Star Wars comic I've ever seen. It's very dark. It's very strange because we see Anakin Skywalker as a 10-year-old that we see him in the Phantom Menace, and he turns around and he's got the visage of Darth Vader's helmet kind of as his face, and it just looks very weird because it's flesh and bone of Darth Vader's mask. So super creepy there. I do want to talk a little bit about Colonel Brenny. So there's been lots of rich characters introduced to Charles Soule, his run of the Darth Vader series so far, and I really did like Colonel Brenny, and I really wish that she didn't die so quickly. So like I said, she is the architect of Mustafar's, or I keep saying Mustafar's palace, of Darth Vader's castle, and she has this, mindset of an artist. Vader doesn't know what he wants. She's got to make up her mind with him, and it turns out that she gets killed, and Vader didn't want her plan that she made up for him anyway. I just like getting that perspective from that character. Also, something I did not mention was when Vader's coming in on his flaming star ship, there are these indigenous people. I think they are just the Mustafarians. I think you see them at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and they're doing stuff with the lava, and they do comment on what that could be, and somebody says something about the fire, and I think that's their version of the Force, because we've gotten lots of that throughout the galaxy. Not everybody calls it the Force. They might call it like the Tide Force or something like that, but these people are calling it the Life Fire or the End Fire, and one of the people is asking the other, is it the Life Fire or the End Fire? I'm guessing he's probably the End Fire, because that probably is going to be their version of the dark side of the Force. So finally, I want to talk about Darth Momin. Darth Momin is this helmet. We've seen it before. We've seen it earlier in the series, and we've also seen it in the Lando miniseries, which is one of the first miniseries put out by Marvel Star Wars. So I liked seeing this trend, especially because Charles Soule wrote that same miniseries where this helmet first appeared. So it's cool seeing that he's actually getting that continuity, bridging that gap between his various creative arts here, and the fact that this actually wasn't a Sith Lord that destroyed with destruction, but one that he rather created. And that's why the Emperor actually wanted Darth Vader to bring this helmet with him, because he said that, hey, Darth Momin and Vader were very similar. Their mindset is very similar, so that is why the Emperor's telling him to take that. I thought it was interesting that this helmet actually talked to Palpatine, and that's why Palpatine knew the history, because apparently it's Darth Momin. his history is wiped from the database of any existing knowledge out there for the Jedi. So it was really interesting because it was actually, I think they retrieved it from the Jedi Temple, or at least that's the last time we've seen it there. So yes, this is very interesting, a very cool arc for Darth Vader. It's tying up a lot of loose ends and starting a lot of new threads, which, I can't wait for the next issue. I think it's coming out in 2 weeks. And the other issue we have concludes the Last Jedi adaptation miniseries. This is issue number 6. I really like that cover, especially the depiction of Luke. Pretty cool. So this takes place from the moment that Rey comes in with Chewie and the Porgs on the Falcon to save the day on Crate, all the way obviously to the end where we have the kid with the little broom looking up at the stars and everything in between that. So I'm not going to really go over too much of what this is about, because if you watch the movie, you know what this comic is about. What I will say is the artwork is pretty darn good, especially everything that has Luke in it looks amazing. I still have problems personally. Again, it's just my opinion. I don't really like the design of the faces a whole lot. There seems like there's a lot of shadow, and I've had that problem throughout the time of this series. Another thing I really enjoyed was the narration by Luke, especially the last page that we see him kind of go into the dust, go into the suns, whatever. And he does say, "And so it ends as it begins, by the light of 2 suns before stepping into a larger world." I thought that Gary Whitta did an excellent job with just writing that, and that just ties it in together. We see him on Tatooine, and we see him in front of twin suns again on Ahch-To at the end. So, man, I cannot wait for episode 9. But looking at the series as an overall picture, I will say, I still say that Rogue One is the best comic adaptation of a film yet. Wasn't a fan of The Force Awakens. As far as The Last Jedi, it was solid. It's not going to really add any new scenes, which I was, a little bit disappointed by. I was hoping we would have some new sequences or something. None of that existed. There's some different wording here and there, but I think they got the whole image and the whole briskness of the pace of the movie down. I think it was nice to be consolidated into 6 issues. So yeah, I would recommend it. If you enjoyed The Last Jedi, I would say, when this comes out in a trade paperback, you might want to look into picking it up. So next week, you guys can look forward to Star Wars issue number 54, Lando Double or Nothing issue number 5, as well as Star Wars Adventures issue number 14. So what did you guys think about these comics that came out this week? Are you enjoying Darth Vader as much as I am? Let's talk about it all in that comment section below. Heads up, guys, I will be at the Philadelphia Convention Center in Philadelphia for Keystone Comic Con this weekend. Let me know if you're going to be there. Actually, Ray Park will be there on Friday. He's doing a panel, so I'm definitely going to check that out. I can't wait to see if he reveals anything about his cameo in Solo. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And keep an eye out. I will be posting a video about the convention later on, and I also have a breakdown of the new scenes added in the Solo novelization on the channel right now, so check those out. And if you aren't already, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll never miss another video. I do these Star Wars videos, like I said at the top of the video, every single week, at least as long as there's content that came out that week. So that's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.